Man, after the ending of 201, I was so worried for Tokoyami. Really glad they just touched really lightly upon that in this chapter. Hey guys, ForTheAfro Reviews here, and tonight I'll be reviewing Chapter 201 and 202 of My Hero Academia, although I'll be going through 201 really quickly because it was a lot of action panels and not a lot of panels to begin with. It's because Horikoshi, I think, really just needs a break, which he's taking next week, thank God. He deserves it. This manga is incredible, and you can tell by the amount of chapters, not chapters, the amount of pages from the last couple of chapters that he's been working himself to death, so he really deserves this. So 201, pretty straightforward. The fight continued, whatnot. Momo had a freaking cannon at the end of 200, so that was like pretty intense. Everyone thought she was just gonna shoot Kendo or something, but it turns out she turned around and shot a package out to help out Tokoyami, and just the rest of the team. Really just Tokoyami, because the rest of the team was pretty fucking useless. Aoyama and Toru, so disappointed in them, they didn't do anything. Toru announced her location when she was trying to sneak up on someone. That just defeats the purpose of your quirk, and Aoyama just did nothing. He tried to shoot a wall at one point, and then he got captured. So disappointing. The package contained something to get rid of the mushrooms for Toru so that she was invisible again. There was no mushrooms on her, which again, she just totally wasted that opportunity. And then Tokoyami had some night vision goggles to locate the mushroom girl and Vanta Black, which he did very promptly and very quickly, like very Hawk-like. He used incredible speed to just blitz them, and he would have beat them, but he took it like a practice exercise, so he didn't like knock them out. And because of that, Mushroom Girl made mushrooms grow in his throat. That's terrifying. He like suffocated. I really was like, you can't go more than like a minute or two without oxygen, without brain damage. So what? There's just mushrooms in there. Like how they don't just go away, do they? But apparently they do. He just needs a throat lozenge. A little weird, but really glad that they addressed that, at least like, hey, yeah, your throat's going to be okay, by the way. It's also revealed at the end of the chapter that Momo tied up Kendo to her, basically, and she's connected to the cannon and the rope still, so she had to drag around a cannon and Momo all the way to where Manga was being attacked by Toru, and she just grabbed Toru, and it was over. But the thought process by Momo was pretty cool. Like she might be about to get knocked out, but she's gonna make it as inconvenient for Kendo as possible. It just wasn't enough. So kind of sad to see Momo lose. I expected it though. Class A has to lose a couple, so I'm just glad Momo showed some real confidence in the fight. So I'm hoping that she doesn't like regress character-wise back to being not confident, because she had every reason to be. Her team was just half shitty classmates. Honestly, they did. Aoyama and Toru, disappointing as hell. Like almost as disappointing as Koda. Almost. Chapter 202 begins with Aizawa and Vlad King, Vlad King, I think that's his name. I always forget the Class B teacher's name. He has a blood quirk, I remember that much. But they're talking about how they're gonna wait a little bit before the next match because it's just been wrecked. And then Vlad King talks shit to his class, like, hey, don't cause so much damage, alright? So Manga, his quirk would cause huge damage. It was pretty much just Manga if you really think about it. But yeah, Manga also kind of states the downside to his quirk. His throat's really sore. So I think those throat lozenges that Mushroom Girl had was actually for Manga, but Tokoyami needed them, I guess. I don't know. Next, we see All Might come over and say he is quietly here, which is... God, I can't get enough of All Might. But he calls Deku over and he's talking to him separately, and Mina actually points out something I've been waiting for more students to point out, like, huh, Deku and All Might are really close. I mean, I remember Ida and Ochako pointed out one time because their quirks are really similar, but no one's putting the pieces together like Bakugo did, which is really good for Izuku. And Bakugo walks over after, he's like, you guys, you can't just keep doing this shit in broad daylight, goddamn. Like, you're drawing attention to yourself. But he basically talks, he's like, what's going on, someone with One for All, and then, Midoriya and All Might explain the situation, and Bakugo shows like a smidge of concern, and then immediately just talks shit to Midoriya, which kind of negates it, but, classic Bakugo. So next we get the start of round 3, which has my favorite team for Class 1A, because we got Todoroki, Ida, Shoji, who does not get enough love. I love Shoji, and Ojiro, who again does not get enough love. I don't love him as much as Shoji, but I mean, he doesn't get enough love. Tail, he does a lot with just a tail. Respect. Class B, they have Juzo, the guy with the softening quirk. He got in by recommendation, just like Momo and Todoroki. They have that pony, whatever girl. She has like kind of a ponyish quirk, I guess, and she is an exchange student from America actually, which is hilarious because she can't talk very well in Japanese. They also have the guy with the welding quirk, as well as Tetsu, who is fucking awesome just because of his name. I've never gotten over how fucking hilarious his name is. Tetsu. Hell yeah. Tokoyami has a brief moment with Todoroki, which I like because they're both really cool characters. I mean, he's basically like, I kind of fucked up, dude, so you gotta do good for me. And Todoroki's like, why me? Like, there's a lot of other people here. He's like, well, you basically represent the #1 hero, and I, interning with Ox, represent the #2 hero. So that gives Todoroki like a little bit of a flashback back to when Endeavor was training him really, really brutally. And if you look, you can notice he already has a scar, or this side scar. So, yeah, he's already lost his mother at that point, or not lost her, but she's already in the mental home or whatever. So Endeavor was really going at it, I assume, during these years where there's no one to really restrain him or like hold him back at all. He was just like, no, train Todoroki. And he's getting older where he can probably train harder and harder, you know? So dark times for Todoroki, but really important bomb is mentioned. He mentions that Toya, like he's talking about the son that we don't know anything else about, who's totally Dabi. Because he says that his quirk burned hotter than Endeavor's, almost like blue flames instead of red or orange maybe. And he also mentions that he had Rei, Todoroki's mom's, he had like her constitution. So I'm assuming what that means here is if the flames are hotter, they're blue, and if he has a weak constitution, he hurts his own body doing it sometimes. Maybe, you know, someone covered in a bunch of burns. Dabi! Another important tidbit from the flashback is that Endeavor mentions that you have to master this technique, Todoroki, and then it shows some panels of like prominence burn and like a bunch of fiery techniques. So I think he's trying to get him to master like the crazy laser stuff, which would be so cool. If Todoroki could do that and a bunch of pinpoint control with his fire side on top of all the control he already has with his ice side, you know, that's pretty much going to be his power up throughout the series. His quirk is already freaking insane. He just needs to learn how to control it better, especially the fire side that he's been neglecting for years and years and years. So next we get a scene where Ida expresses concern for Todoroki. He like notices that something's off with him. He says like, "Are you okay?" And Todoroki doesn't want to talk about it, but he appreciates Ida asking, which is, you know, that's pretty cool because he was so cold at the beginning of the series, and now he's like, he has a friend. Like Ida's his friend, and he actually cares. And Ojiro is like, I didn't even notice his face was any different. Like that's impressive, Ida. And Ida chalks it up to being the class president and like just knowing everything about all the students and really caring about all of them because he's the president, has to lead them. But it's really because they're bros. Like let's be honest. Like Deku, Deku and Ida are probably the only people that would notice this change in Todoroki. So for the final scene, we cut to the Class B team as the exercise is about to start, and Tetsu is elaborating that, like, I've always been treated like kind of an idiot, and, like, even though I got into UA and stuff, and, like, I'm not, like, he kind of deduces the best plan of action for them, which honestly kind of still seems dumb to me. Like, they're just charging straight at the team. They're like, well, Todoroki's there, and he's, like, incredibly strong, but, like, we don't have many strengths in like scouting or like stealthy stuff or anything, so we're gonna go straight in and attack him. I don't know how that's gonna work out for you guys. Todoroki is there, Todoroki, like, and you're made of metal, which is really susceptible to changing temperature by like, you know, heat or cold. Like I'm sure he can do something clever, like make you super cold and make you stick to something. I don't know. And although I don't really like his idea that much, but Tetsu, like his whole ending where he's crushing through the buildings and going completely against what his teacher said to the other team, which again hilarious. And then that face at the end for the last panel, it's just so epic. I don't even care that I personally think it's a bad plan. Like he just looks awesome, and seeing more Tetsu is always good. Kirishima and Tetsu having similar quirks. Like, I think that really affects, like, their confidence, and I think they want to kind of prove themselves, even though their quirks have some differences here. Like, Tetsu could take more advantage of his metal properties. Like I was saying earlier, he changes temperature really quickly. I don't know, take advantage of that somehow. And Kirishima, when he hardens, he becomes, like, sharp and stuff. I think he needs to start cutting more stuff and whatnot. So, you know, I'm hoping that maybe he'll distinguish his quirk as being different from Kirishima's in this fight, even slightly, you know? Anyway, that about wraps up this chapter. I'm really interested to see where this fight goes, as I have been with every other fight so far. I mean, that shouldn't be surprising at all, but especially, like, what are they going to do about Todoroki? He just seems too OP, but I want Todoroki to lose, because the more you humble Todoroki, the more impressive he looks like when, you know, someone who isn't taking him seriously, or, like, serious enough is going to fight him. Like a villain who's like, oh, it's just a student, then Todoroki just owns them, even though he's losing against students right now or something. I don't know. I also think that one more team from Class A has to lose to make it even for when Midori and Shinzo have their match. So it's either Bakugo's team or Todoroki's team, and I kind of want to see Bakugo win his. Like, I want to see Bakugo win and Todoroki lose. So that's what I'm gonna place my bets on. I'm gonna be hoping for, and yeah, we'll see in the next coming weeks, I guess. Because if Todoroki loses, I'm immediately going to assume Bakugo's team's going to win. It's just kind of like how at that point. I mean, they could both lose, obviously. There's not like any guarantee, but it's just kind of my thought process. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video at all, like, comment, subscribe. It would greatly, greatly help me. I'm almost at 100 subscribers, and it'd be really cool to, hit that threshold and move past that onto the next milestone, which would be 1,000. So, yeah, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It's right there or there, one of those two directions. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.